Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Colts Cast. We're here to talk about everything and anything Indianapolis Colts. My name is Eric Smith, co-host of the Colts Cast. Alongside me, as always, I have co-host Jamal Lawrence here.
Yo, yo, yo.
Please be sure to follow us on social media. Our Twitter handle is @thecoltscast, and our Instagram is @coltscast. Just hit that search bar up, put the Colts Cast in, we'll pop right up. Look, if you got YouTube too, if you're on YouTube, you might as well check us out on YouTube. We are on there. Look at my face. You know you want to see this. Anyway, we are on YouTube now. But let's get right into it, Jamal. The Washington Commanders visit Lucas Oil Stadium to take on the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. Different time, though. 4:25.
Yeah,
4
midday
o'clock
game. Yeah.
So now I can sleep in, do some day drinking, then get prepared.
Wow.
You know, we're slightly the favorites. We should be at home. Injuries, Kwity Paye is still hurt. That's really about it. I didn't see anything else that I was concerned about. I guess Shaquille Leonard.
Yeah.
Don't really know about him. Will he play a game this season? Will he get dealt at the deadline? I don't know what's going to happen. It's been a crazy week. We talked about it already. It's Sam Ehlinger season, baby. Are we excited?
Yes, sir, we are excited. And before we get into that, two things. Things number one, if you go on YouTube, I don't know why you picked the one day I'm talking about my lighting in my room going all light and dark. I look so dark right now. You want to tell everyone to go on YouTube and look at your face? Get out of here, man.
Oh, now they're going to.
Second off, I was going to say something about the last thing you just said. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We'll get into the good stuff. Sam Ehlinger season. Yeah, bro. We're going to take it straight from the top. Colts Nation, you already know how happy I am and excited I am about this. Ain't nothing changed but the name on the mail. The Colts are ready to step in here and take off with Sam. We did the emergency show the other day. Kind of gave you guys a little quick taste of how we felt. But now we got to go a little more in depth with it and kind of talk about what we expect to see. So just taking it straight from the top, Eric, I got to ask you, man, did Frank Reich make this decision to ensure his job at the end of the season?
So I've analyzed this in many different ways, but I believe it definitely is a desperation move, right? It's really a disappointing season, to say the least. I mean, we have one of the worst offenses in the NFL. We had a quarterback who's been leading the league in all the wrong categories. He even admitted in the press conference after the quarterback announcement that Matt Ryan is the reason why they are struggling. So Frank Reich, I mean, he came right out on top of it. So what do you do as a head coach who probably is on the chopping block with a few more losses? You make a drastic and impactful change, something that will give hope to a depressed fan base. Because there are, I don't think we're, depressed. I mean, we love the Colts. We like talking about them. We like to see them do well. I mean, there's some good things the Colts do, but there's a lot of depressed fans out there, and, something that I think also will help with his job security, And look, they did Matt Ryan wrong. Run game wasn't like it was last year. Offensive line definitely was not like it was last year. They praised him like he was going to contend for the year's MVP. They said he was going to be here for a few years. 7 weeks in, that's not the case. You get benched for Sam Ehlinger. Matt Ryan got bamboozled. We have to admit that. At the end of the day, the NFL is a business, though. So got to do what's best for the team. And Matt Ryan, I don't believe did enough to say, hey, guys, I'm not the problem. I don't think he did enough to say that. I shouldn't have to say this almost every week, but what the, excuse my French, fuck is Matt Ryan doing on that play? I mean, we say that all the time. I see it all the time with Colts fans. So we signed up for stability. We signed up for leadership. Signed up for a smart signal caller. Instead, we got the immobile, miscalculated quarterback. So you guys might think I'm being harsh, but You saw how bad some of those interceptions were. They were really bad. Is Sam Ehlinger the answer, though? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm not going to root against him. You know, he was exciting in the preseason. I'm looking forward to seeing him play against the Commanders. If he can elevate this offense to where it needs to be to win games, I'm all about it. This game against the Commanders, it's going to be very telling. It could be a good sign of what's to come. It also couldn't be. That's why the trade deadline is also next week. So a lot of decisions to be made right after that game, and also Frank Reich's status as the head coach in 2023. So a lot. This is an exciting week. I know we said last game was our probably most important game, but this is one of the most important weeks in the NFL for the Indianapolis Colts and where they want to go moving forward.
Isn't it crazy how every week there's some kind of importance that we can just throw on the Colts and make it a crazy, another wild week? It doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's never ending.
Jim Irsay about to fight.
Yeah.
They're going to go one-on-one in a ring. It's crazy.
Oh, it is. And I remember what I was going to say earlier. You reminded me when you were talking about the trade deadline. It's been so wild to me to see. I know, like, we like to joke around and talk about crazy things that can happen, but the amount of fans I've seen on Twitter, I don't know if I should call them fans, but people on Twitter saying how we should, like, just trade away the whole house, get rid of Leonard, Buckner, this and everybody for the trade, and go pick up Mac Jones.
1.
Yeah, they're like, yo, get them all out. Let's clean house. I'm like, is that the answer? Is that the answer? I don't quite think so. So I've been getting a kick out of that. Like you said, 3-3-1, and people are ready to just throw in the white flag at the trade deadline and just say, get rid of everybody so we can get a pick for one player. Of course, I agree we should get one player, but I don't think we should give up everybody on our squad. But we won't talk about that right now. And that'll be later during the season. So did Reich make this decision to ensure his job at the end of the season? Absolutely. Absolutely he did. Reich knew he's been on the hot seat. I like to think that he felt that he was in a comfortable position for what it was worth, and then reality set in when the media is seeing it, when the fans are seeing it, when we're talking about a Matt Ryan who has not produced. As you mentioned, we didn't set him up to correct all the problems, but he clearly made it known in that press conference that he is not the solution either. He was very calm, and I think that's more of his professional side, his PC side. He's not going to sit there and say, well, they promised me this, but they didn't pull through with this. Well, also, you promised them to give your best effort every single game as well. So you got to play devil's advocate with that. You promised to try to not fumble the ball. You promised to not try to throw interceptions. You promised to try to get this team to the next level. And you're right. People were saying from the very beginning, Matt Ryan MVP. We did a whole episode on Matt Ryan and his potential to be the MVP. And just some of the rambles that were going on throughout his tenure. Reggie Wayne, saying he reminds him of Peyton Manning and all this stuff. I'm like, man, that's a tough thing to think about. So I think, go ahead. I see you unmuted. What are you going to say?
Nothing. I'm good.
All right. I think it's a pretty strong statement to say, though, and especially to see what has come from there. Reich knows, though. He knows if he wants just any more time in this organization, he had to pull the trigger. Because if he didn't pull the trigger and Matt Ryan loses out, instantly fired. If he pulls a trigger and Sam loses out, there's still a little chance you can remain here because you're like, well, it was week 8. This is the time where teams typically are rolling. They're starting to get full speed ahead. Now we're throwing this guy into the gulag and saying, you better come out and you got to go get all your teammates back. Like that's kind of unfair. So I think that Reich played a smart card here. It saves him his job for now, and it has the potential to save his job in the future if Ehlinger can come out and just do enough. So I think Reich knew exactly what he was doing. And I say that because he is making more decisions over the past couple of weeks than I've ever seen him make. Obviously, with the kicking situation, letting Blankenship go, we got rid of him. The biggest decision being Matt Ryan, and then even Matt Hawk, after a couple bad punts, they already got a new punter on the practice squad. So he's like, I'm not skipping a beat. All of a sudden, we have that urgency. Hopefully it translates onto the field, but the urgency behind the scenes is getting crazy.
I think Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard had something to say about the Matt Ryan decision too. But no, you're right. There is a sense of urgency now, and it's time to win or it's time to go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that leads us right into tanking. You know, does this move to Sam Ehlinger mean it's time to tank, Jamal?
Whew. You know what? Absolutely. Absolutely not. It does not mean it's time to tank. This, again, Frank Reich does not want to lose his job. I don't think there's any coach in the world who wants to lose their job, especially a head coach. None of them want to go back to being an assistant unless you're like Matt Patricia. I imagine Josh McDaniels in a couple years wanting to go back to being an assistant under Belichick. But Frank Reich, a seasoned head coach, does not want to lose his job. I think it's quite the opposite, to be honest. He knew he had to make ownership happy with this one. He knew that Ballard was on his back with this one, and everything just kind of fell into play. I have a hard time believing that if we would have won with Matt at quarterback and the injury wouldn't have happened, that we truly would have switched over to Sam. I don't know. Of course, we'll never know now, so it doesn't matter. But it interests me to know whether it truly would have happened. Because it's a lot that can go into that. But I don't think that we're in a position to tank. Again, Jim Irsay cares about winning. I like to think that after Peyton got injured and the season was just absolute garbage, that was more of a tanking style, where it wasn't so much that the Colts were just that bad without one player, that there was also some tanking involved there. And it kind of left a sour taste in Jim's mouth, especially after Andrew Luck, everything happened with him. We do all that work, pay all that money, and now we have nothing to show for it. So I'd like to think that he's afraid to take that route again. I mean, you have to, as an owner, to put all your eggs in the basket and then someone just be like, nope, I'm done. So I truly think that plays heavy with him, and he's not about the tanking. He would rather go, get a 7, 8, 9 win season and be mediocre than to fall down to that, to the bottom of the barrel to potentially elevate.
Yeah, it's. I think in the NFL, it's just really hard to tank. I don't know, because the players want to win. You can only do so much to tank your team, and I really don't like the idea of tanking. The idea of doing everything you can to lose a game just to move up a few picks. I hate to think about it like that. And in NFL, it's more of a team sport. Like if you go to basketball, there's 5 players on the court. Adding one special player makes a tremendous difference. It's a little harder to reach that height in football. It can be done, but again, we're 3-1. We gotta relax, right? Are the Rams tanking? Are the Buccaneers tanking? Are the Packers tanking? Are the 49ers tanking? No, and yet they have just as many wins as us. Frank Reich and this front office, they're just not in the position to tank. So someone's job is on the line for the season. If it's a failure to me is missing the playoffs again. I can't sit here with a straight face and say the season is over, blow it up, tank for Stroud or Young. Because it's not over. Plus, I've already stated this before, some analysts are saying this is one of the deepest quarterback classes ever. I think we're going to have our chance to pick from the apple tree, regardless of how mediocre we play. So at 500, we need to be focused on what we can do to better our chances of making the playoffs. You guys don't want to give up on the season just yet? I don't see that from true Colts fans. That's just me, though.
Hey, that was well put, man. That was a much more thorough thought-out answer than me. I like the comparison to the other teams because I didn't think about it in that aspect. Again, they're all, the Rams.
They're all 3-win teams.
Yeah.
Are they tanking? No. I mean, they probably have a more realistic chance
for sure
of going further. But Jimmy Garoppolo, Aaron Rodgers, Sons, Devontae Adams, like that. There's a lot of just stuff going on. The Buccaneers look terrible. We're about to see them tonight. I mean, the Rams don't look great, but I guarantee you they're not all tanking.
Right. No, you're right. And so speaking of those players and their teams, I mean, what do you feel about the culture? Because I know the culture in their locker room can't be too bad. So how do you feel about the culture in our locker room after making this move to Sam at quarterback?
Well, Frank Reich keeps saying he has the fans in the locker room. Like, he has fans. Do I believe him? I don't know. It's a wait and see right now. Hindsight is going to be 2020 when we look at what entails after this week. But, Sam Ehlinger, he's done nothing wrong, so I expect the team to keep doing what they're doing. Again, trade deadline is next Tuesday. I think we'll have some expectations set after this game and after the deadline. If we start dealing some good veteran players, Frank Wright is actually throwing in the white flag, even though he said he wasn't. If we play very well against the Commanders and get a dub, do the Colts keep their sight on the playoffs? I think they do. So it's all going to be very telling sooner rather than later. So if Sam Ehlinger can do his job well, he's going to have the locker room. I do think that. They say his leadership is great. I have nothing to go against that.
Agreed, absolutely. I mean, Frank has made it seem like, as you said, that everyone is all about him, and that's what we need to see. I think that the players probably have like an initial shock just of what happens, just because that's the way reality works, especially when we're talking about a veteran player who's been proven throughout his entire tenure. But there also has to be that sense of refreshment. Anytime something new happens, there's a sense of refreshment. Management and job changes, you feel a little refreshed. Even if you like that person that was there before, it's a different feel that comes along with this. So I would like to think that the young gunner, has made it just brought a new bit of hope.
Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope.
Yeah, A New Hope.
We
Exactly
can call
right.
it. That could be the episode name.
You're right. I mean, it's gonna show. It's gonna show. I like to think that everyone there respects him. I mean, he's been around. It's not like he's just some Joe Blow who got picked up off of waivers. He's been around camp. He's been there since last year, so the players know him. They know what to expect. And like he said, he goes in every day like he's going to start. So he's not even nervous right now. He feels like he's a winner. He wants to be that guy. So if somebody's sitting next to me in the locker room and they have that mentality when they were a third string quarterback, I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable with that.
So you feel comfortable that he's about to get his first win against the Commanders?
Boy, do I. Hey, you know what, man? Let me just go ahead and start. Now I'm just messing. But in all seriousness, though, Sam has been consistent throughout his college career, throughout his NFL preseason career, whatever you want to call it. I talked about his rushing yards last week because I wanted to just explain to everybody how important that was as a moving quarterback in this day and age. That's what we need. We need to see a glimpse of what that can be for this team and how important that is, because that's the future, or I should say that's the now, not even the future. That's the now of what we have. So whether it's not that we want to stick with him for the long run, or we want to move on to someone maybe a little quicker, maybe a better arm, whatever you want, however you want to slice it, we get a chance to see how we can do this. But now I want to talk about his passing over his career in Texas. We're talking, 62.5% completion rate, threw for 11,436 yards, averaging 7.7 an attempt, 94 touchdowns, 27 interceptions. So I like that, man. That's telling me that 94 touchdowns, 24 interceptions. He is playing smart with the ball. He's not just throwing it out wherever he can. Not only is he playing smart, but he's actually getting yards. 7.5 yards is great. That's a great first down. That's a great first down play, or a great third down play to get those yards we need. He's been consistent year over year over year. Besides his freshman year, he's been keeping it above 60% completion rate. And his numbers just got better as his career went on at Texas. And again, I know a lot of people are saying that it's hard. Well, he may not be who we think he is because he doesn't have any experience in the NFL, et cetera, et cetera. Well, no one has any experience in the NFL before they get there. No one does. When you are in the combine, you're in the draft, yes, you may be playing at Alabama where you have the NFL stars who are going to be there, where you have a 22-man offense and defense, and probably 10 of them are going to make it to the league or more. But none of them are in the NFL. They all have to get there and then have their shot. So I get so frustrated when I see on TV or when I read and they're like, well, he doesn't have the experience of being an NFL quarterback. Well, Sherlock Holmes, neither did you before you got to the league. So that's how it works.
Dude was playing Ball State and West Alabama. You reading me those stats? He in the NFL now,
Texas.
baby.
Yeah, right.
Dude playing Bojangles Biscuit State. No, those are some good numbers. I agree. He was a great college quarterback. I'm looking forward to this game. I've been looking forward to this game since the schedules came out. You know, we had Carson Wentz versus Matt Ryan. I was like, ooh, that's about to be that's got to be a good game, right? You know, let's see what team made the right decision. No, but no, we don't get either of them. We get Taylor Heineke versus Sam Ehlinger, backup versus backup. What are we, 3-point favorites? I think.
Yeah, and guess what? Not only do we not get to see that, we're about to get a double-edged sword because for one, we're about to lose out. We lost out on our quarterback we spent all this money on, and two, we're about to lose that second-round draft pick. So it's a double loss for us. The only thing we can do is hope for the W in the win column this week.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's looking like a third-round pick. I don't know. It's only been like a week. We don't know yet. Hopefully. But look, the Commanders, they limited Aaron Rodgers to under 200 passing yards last game. I think the Packers are overrated. I truly do, and they severely regret not being able to retain Devontae Adams. Still, it's Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer, under 200 passing yards. You don't see that a lot. The Russian offense also got stuffed that game. Only 38 yards on the ground out of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. So, will we get our first win? Well, I think a few things have to happen. I think, one, we do have to establish our run game. Can we get Jonathan Taylor rolling? Especially with a new quarterback making his first career start. That would alleviate a lot of pressure, in my opinion. If we can lean on Jonathan Taylor throughout the game, maintain that, 5 yards per carry, that would be beautiful. That'd be wonderful. Control that time of possession. Let Sam Ehlinger be a game manager for his first start. Like you said, limit mistakes in college. So I don't expect him. I would love for him to do this. I don't expect for him to throw 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's not my expectations right now. But I do expect him, after watching what Matt Ryan did with our offense, to limit mistakes and let our above-average defense do their thing against the Commanders. Because the Commanders, they're just average to me. Average in basically every category. Passing offense, rushing offense, defense, specialty, anything. They're just average. So, our defense is above average. Didn't allow a single touchdown last game against the Titans. Very impressive in my opinion. Let's keep it simple. So, now, like I was saying, I do think there's that small chance our offense could go bonkers by inserting Sam Ehlinger in. I would fucking love that. That will change the opinion of our fan base going forward.
Absolutely.
If he comes in and just balls out, they're going to be like, oh my God, I don't know why they didn't do this earlier. My goodness, he was so much better than Matt Ryan. I told y'all so. I want that because I want us to win. I want there to be hope. So, but, Matt Ryan and Sam Ehlinger, 2 different types of QBs, cut from a different cloth. One's a very accurate pocket passer, handles his reads pretty well, gets the ball out fast. The other, like you were talking about, Jamal, mobility, possesses that mobility, the ability to extend plays further. Something that could really help out our offense and this offensive line, who's been subpar. So, inserting a mobile QB into that situation just adds that little spice to our offense. I don't know if you remember that Colts vs. Chiefs game this year. We won, but do we know how elusive Patrick Mahomes was that game?
I'm not sure because I was there and I probably had like 8 drinks, but I was watching the game.
Well, I'll tell you right now, he's pressured on 22.5% of his dropbacks that game. Matt Ryan was pressured on 25.5% of his dropbacks. That's a 3% difference. The results, though, Matt Ryan had 5 sacks. Patrick Mahomes, he had 1.
Mobility.
Exactly, Jamal. That's all I'm saying. It's a nice trait to have sometimes. Even though we won the game with those 5 sacks taken, I would have preferred, 1 sack or less, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering if mobility had a factor in that. He is Patrick Mahomes. It's hard to compare to. Matt Ryan's no pushover. At least in his prime, he wasn't. So, I just think when you're able to let plays develop a little bit longer, see your receiver run their full route, or make that defensive back, have to cover them that extra 2 or 3 seconds, make them slip up. or even just go through your progressions. Good things can happen. So, like you were saying, Jamal, Ehlinger's rushing yards in college was crazy with the Longhorns. 2,000 yards for his career?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is the hope. This is the new hope. This is Star Wars all over again, baby. I think Ehlinger brings a new element to our offense, something that's needed for our current build, our current makeup of this offense. I think we can pull this one out at home. Have we had a time where we come on this podcast and say we're not going to win? I think the Chiefs game, maybe.
The Chiefs game, yeah. And I think we were, I think it may have just been the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Titans, we were
straight
very
upset.
wrong about. But again, like the Commanders, they're not a scary team.
Right.
To me, maybe to some other people they are. They barely beat the Packers, beating by about 2 points. And, I mean, no one had a standout game to me. I mean, their running game got off to a great start. But on the season, I mean, I think both their running backs, Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, they're both averaging less than 4 yards per carry. I'm not, and you know, look, Taylor Heineke got benched for a reason. Look, I'm not scared of this offense. Our defense is great. I have this notion in my head that Sam Ehlinger's just going to come in there and ball out. I don't know why. I really hope that's the case. I do not want to see another bad quarterback day, but that's what I think.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why you're gonna see him have a great, we're gonna say a great. He's not gonna have a good day. He's gonna have a great day because Eric, I'm going back to what you were alluding to with the Patrick Mahomes information. I don't know if you saw, he used to work out with Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, so the mobility, I mean, who better to learn it from besides Patrick Mahomes? I don't know, maybe Lamar Jackson, or Josh Allen, but I mean, besides that, Mahomes, I mean, you work out with him, you understand, they're talking knowledge, they're talking football, because they're not just hanging out and drinking, I mean, they're actually talking what their job and their career is, so it gives me a little extra high hope. Now, I'm not going to say that that's going to make him go out there and throw for 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, rush for 116 yards with a 2-touchdown rush. That ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. But like you said, Eric, the limited mistakes will make a difference. I think that he will possess the ball a whole lot better. He will get open. He will elude pressure when he needs to. And in a time of crisis, if he can't elude and he can't run, I think he'll do the smart thing and get rid of the ball and not try to force it to where it shouldn't be. Because I don't know. I just feel like when you have the wheels, you just move differently. You move differently. When you can just zip through whatever you need to. It's a different mindset, different atmosphere, and
so he's talking about Sam Ehlinger like he is the next Lamar Jackson. This is crazy.
I'm saying when you used to seeing somebody who moving like Father Time back there.
That's
Matt
true.
Ryan had a couple good runs. I'm not knocking him because there were a couple runs where we even talked about on here. I was like, all right, that's what we want to see. But, I mean, again, we put the video up on YouTube. We put it on Twitter. We all remember that preseason scramble. My man was out there cooking. So that's what we need to see. But you know what else I would like to see that would help him out this week in the game, and I think that would help kind of ensure him to get a win, would either be a two back set where we can get JT and Naheem out there, or JT and Dion, or Naheem and Dion, whatever kind of setup we need, because I think if we have the dual threat for the running backs out there plus him out there, I mean, that's just, the ball can go anywhere. I think that will be great. Or if we don't have that on the field, double tights. Let's get let's get Mac out there, Mo Ali Cox and Jelani out there. That 2 tights. Now we got 2 weapons. Even Grayson, don't matter. We got 2 weapons that's going to be going downfield. One can stay home and block, and one can go downfield. Don't matter. We got opportunities to make ourselves successful. We're not one-dimensional where we have JT right beside us, so we know it's probably going to him. We got Naheem going out, and we got JT going out. We got options for days. They don't know, Matt. It doesn't matter who you give it to. We got options for days. So I think if we run the 2 running back.
Hold on, Mo Ali Cox is a weapon now? I didn't know that. All right.
Well, no, I was talking about
Naheem. No.
I said Naheem and JT.
Hey,
but no. But no, I mean, but seriously though, if we had Mac out there, we had Molly Cox out there blocking, and Jay Woods going out for a quick pass. I mean, I just think that when you have solid players on your squad, and you can put multiple of those positions out there, and you get a chance to confuse a defense, it can make for a hell of a day for a defensive coordinator. And that's what we want. We don't want to be predictable, because I like to feel like if any DC goes and watches our film, they're like, all right, well, as soon as they do this, we're going here. As soon as they do that, we're going here. There's no trickery. Besides the play where Matt Ryan orchestrated that touchdown, which I'll give him to, when he drove downfield and orchestrated that touchdown where I thought we were going to run out the clock on the play, or on the play clock. Besides that, I mean, I think that we're kind of predictable what we're going to do. But full credit for him for recognizing what was going on. And that may be a Sam Ehlinger weak point where we could see a problem. I haven't really seen him get a chance to read defense and make adjustment. So I'm not going to sit here and just talk about him like he is, the second coming of Jesus, because I want to be realistic here. I haven't seen him really read a defense and kind of understand what's going on and pick them apart. Because that's something what Matt Ryan did down there on the field was elite status, where you were able to know what's going on. But it gives me hope that he's been in a film room, in a quarterback room with Nick Foles, who's had plenty of experience in these situations, with the Matt Ryan, who's had experience in the situation, and he's been able to soak up the knowledge, because that's what we need. So I think that'll be his hardest test for him, will be understanding what's going on defense. And I'm not downplaying that he cannot read defense, but I just haven't seen him read defense before. So I think that'll be an interesting challenge to watch and kind of see his process.
Yep, first career start. It's going to be a fun one. It always is in Colts Nation. Look, everybody, that's going to be it for us. I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Colts Cast. We release episodes bi-weekly. Go ahead and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. We'll be back with a post-game analysis for you guys on Sunday. Look, go Colts. It's a good time to be a Colts fan. Go Colts. We'll see y'all then.
That's right. Go Colts.